usually when this little bar is going, that means it's starting to go live, but I'm not 100% sure. So just to play it safe, I do a little extra talk before I get into the main content. So here we go. Now you are live, and let me turn off the volume and we're good to go.
Oh.
You are right there.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. This is Camila, and we are on our 4th day of the Microcirculation Challenge.
Sorry. You can see yourself. You're there. I'm doing sorry, everyone. I'm doing stuff on screen, off on the screen that's distracting her. So I'll stop.
Okay. Oh, okay. So anyway, welcome everybody. I just, want to let you know that I am really excited about just everything that is happening on this challenge. And for those of you that have missed some of the lives, that you can go onto the group and see everything there on video. So we started with me just giving kind of a background talk on why I have taken this challenge myself to be able to put out some information on the value of microcirculation, and where my journey took me back 40 years ago, and wanting to be on that health path of searching in anything that needed to come across my path so that I could end up in my later years, at 72 years old, to have a good health, have a quality of life, be excited, be alive, wanting to interact. And this is where I find myself, where I believe God wants me to be. As I love him and I love his people, I want to be able to bring something of substance to you that you could use for the rest of your life. So on Monday, we covered microcirculation and what it is. And Tuesday, we covered the consequences of not understanding how valuable microcirculation in our bodies is for our future, for our present health and our future health, because without our blood flow, there's no life. And so that was Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, which was yesterday, we brought on a most amazing young lady, Cameron, and she came in and talked about the emotions and how this impacts the athletes, and also how microcirculation helps with that. And we have been talking about a medical class 2 device that can be a tool for us and assist us in a lot of capacities of in our health journey. And Cameron just explained everything so well, really gave a lot of reasons why everybody should want to be able to be an owner of this class 2 medical device that we call the Beamer. And later on, we'll be sharing with you more on what it is and so forth. So we have another guest speaker today, and she is also a young lady, and in her own right, amazingly, as young as she is, she has accomplished a lot of things. She comes back more from the I come from the world of faith. If somebody mentions that this is going to help me for this, in my spirit, I just on faith know that it's something that is good, and it's not going to hurt me. And hey, let me just pay attention here. And Delia Feliz, who I will be introducing, is more from the scientific. Show me the science. Show me the science. Why do you say that works? Why do you? How can you make that claim? And so, science, faith, love all come together to be able to produce something good for you. And so now, with no more to say, I want to introduce to you that young lady that will speak to the athletes, speak to the weekend warriors, speak to the at-home mom and dad that are running around trying to stay up with their kids. That takes a lot of energy from them, that kind of sometimes puts them out in la la land. And I've been there too. I had 4 children. So in our own right, we are all athletically inclined because we need to have strength. We need to have faith. We need to have that good flow so that we can continue to go forward in our life with great health. So now, with no further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Delia Ford Feliz.
Hey, quite the flip. I was introducing her. Now she's introducing me. That's right. I'm Delia Ford Feliz, and I'm talking about microcirculation in sports, more specifically in the life of an athlete. So what does that mean? Microcirculation is key in any person's life, but I want to dial it down into sports because we look at people in sports, new word, sports and athletes as the high tier of human perfection, right? That's what people strive to look like, function like, and those are the people whose job it is to know how the body works and how to have that edge to enhance the performance, recovery, all of those things. So I'm here to talk about how proper blood flow plays a key role into all of this. And so it doesn't matter what sport you play, what level you're at, you will benefit from enhancing your microcirculation. And we've already discussed, we have a class 2 medical device that we know can really target this specific thing, microcirculation. But before I dig into the science and the stories that I have to share, I want to give you a quick background on myself, because I'm going to talk. Why do I have this authority talk, or why do I know this random information? Well, I grew up in athletes. So as y'all met my mama, she raised 3 collegiate athletes. I was one of them and got certified. So I got full ride scholarship. I competed, graduated MVP, and then got certified as a pro, coached, taught, competed, all of that stuff. So I grew up with the lens of like wanting to optimize my body for winning, right? And so that's how I grew up. But I got the other lens of optimizing your body from my husband. So, and going through life as a mom. So pregnancy and all of that craziness that goes on with your body, right? So, with that side of it, it really gave me the full rounded picture where my husband, as I mentioned earlier in this challenge, he did receive a type 1 diabetes diagnosis 4 years ago, right after we kind of had our first child. And that was supposed to be a life sentence. He was supposed to be on 6 medications and add, as the years came on, for life. And then we were able to have tools that optimized our body's healing capacity and saw, wow, we actually have some power here to help the body start healing itself and do stuff that even our doctors thought was impossible. So that's kind of like, I got to see both lenses, me as a competitive athlete, just doing it to refine the system. And then someone who is diagnosed with a chronic illness that is super common. 1 in 3 people has diabetes or pre-diabetes, like it's super rampant in the US. And so that was kind of like the full lens where I learned so much. And it was really the healing journey that brought so much clarity and brought even more excitement once discovering this Beamer microcirculation device and what it does and understanding how it works. So the microcirculation essentially connected all the dots to everything I had been learning, because whenever anyone goes on a journey, it's usually, the diet, you clean up the diet, and then you add some supplements, and then the microcirculation just gets forgotten, right? And that's the energy and kind of this invisible world that we don't see it. It's not as tangible as the other things. And so I just want to give the people here a real world example of what that looks like. So as I went on this journey, I started noticing that things that we started incorporating in my husband's healing journey was a lot of the same things that the top tier athletes were doing on their journey. And so let's get a common household name. And everybody's going to know this name in sports. It is Tom Brady. Okay. Anybody know this guy?
Yeah.
Even my mom knows this guy. So I used to be like a super hardcore football watcher. So Tom Brady, he has the most Super Bowls ever as a quarterback. Like, he is the top tier. Why is it? And he's one of the oldest quarterbacks, right? And so how is it he has been able to maintain this competitive edge, not only just like to win, but to win Super Bowls and win the most ever? Like, that's kind of like, this guy has unlocked some secrets and we should be tapping into them, right? And so before this whole healing journey, I always thought, well, these rich superstar athletes, like, they have a bunch of money, they're famous, they probably have like hire some super scientist that's just like living in their basement or something, that just gives them these concoctions and gives them all these special treatments that the rest of the world doesn't have access to. That was my thinking prior to all of this. I'm like, well, they're just, they have a better life because they have more money, and that's just how it is. But now, as I've started observing and we've integrated natural modalities into our home, I'm like, wait a minute, the thing I'm doing, Tom Brady's doing. And it wasn't just like everything he did. I was like, oh, we ended up accidentally doing that too. So it really is universally applicable, like these protocols to enhance your microcirculation and just your body healing components. And so with Tom Brady, if you guys follow him, he's all about his nutrition. And it was revealed back when, I think 2 years ago, he had his chef, he did an interview and said that Brady is primarily plant-based. So like 80 to 90% plant-based, whole food, organic, natural, eating, right? Eliminating process and chemicals and all of that, which we all kind of know at this point now, right? But then he also has a supplement brand that he released, which is not, in addition to the good food he eats, he makes sure he covers his basis with whole food naturals that will enhance that, make sure he's getting everything that might be missed from his nutrition. And then on top of that, Cameron shared yesterday that he uses the Beamer as well. And so, these are all things that are accessible to us. He doesn't have some super fancy, mad scientist living in his basement. It's like, I can access all three of those things, and I have, and we've reaped the benefits of it. So the difference is that most people, one, they have that thought that I used to have, like, oh, well, it can't happen to me, I don't have the resources available. But the difference was, an athlete is more motivated, more inclined to do that research for themselves and to do what it takes to optimize their body. So they lean into the knowledge, the wisdom, and applying it, where the average person just kind of does it. They don't really dig in and pay attention to those subtleties. So that's why we're here. We're kind of bridging that gap where it's like, hey, y'all, let's use all the same cool tools these athletes are using, because it not only helps your performance, it just helps you overall be a healthy and have a longer, happier, healthier life. So I see someone trying to join the room. Oh, hey, Barbie, I see you. Let me let her in. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of the Tom Brady example, which I think is super relatable. And then I want to have talk a little bit about why the Beamer is so effective. So why would Tom Brady use something like this? And why are people, just non-Super Bowl star normal people, using this? And so essentially the Beamer, which is the Class 2 medical device that we've been using in addition to other, healing modalities, is it essentially works with that invisible space, right? So like, it adds that extra charge to our energy circuit, and it mimics the natural grounding sensation that our bodies were designed for. So we're designed to interact with nature, and modern society has kind of removed us from those natural interactions that our body relies on, right? So we're learning over time that, hey, this is something that we need. So Cameron demonstrated this perfectly yesterday, and I had no idea she was going to do this. So I want to just replay that little segment. It's like 1.5, 2 minute segment of her demonstrating how that works visually, that our bodies are charged and are energetic. And that's why the Beamer is so effective. So I'm going to share my screen, and then we can, let's see, where did I put that video? There we go. So I'm going to share my screen and then play the video. So here we go, share screen. And where is she? There she is. So let me know if you guys can't hear it for any reason. Feel free to interject, but I'm going to assume y'all can hear this once I start playing. So let me see, share. Okay, here we go. So do you see just the video or do you see, yeah, I think you see just for the video. Okay, I'm gonna play, here we go.
So energy is our core being. And one thing that I like to show, I teach classes on energy and emotions. And one thing that I like to show in that class is how we're energetic beings. And so this works perfectly for the beamer. And so I'm going to actually show you, if it's okay with you all. Let me grab it. So this is a children's toy from Amazon, a children's science toy. So it's literally a hollow tube with these wires and then 2 silver conductors. So if you think about our body as an energetic circuit, how the beamer works is it's literally sending the same energy that we vibrate at to our bodies that allows the blood to push to the small veins of our eyes, to the capillaries of our eyes, to our fingertips. I mean, crazy testimonies of people's gray hair turning black using the beamer to their head because so much blood is going to their skull, to their scalp. Amazing cataracts disappearing, amazing stories we won't get into. But this demonstrates our energetic circuit in our body. So if I was to hold one end of this, nothing happens because the circuit is not connected. Now, if I was to connect my hand here, why? Because the circuit is connected. It's literally like I just plugged in something into the socket and I unplugged it. Plugged it in, unplugged it. The beamer does that to your body. It grounds your body to the earth. And the reason why the beamer was created is, if you don't know, we used to walk 7 to 10 miles barefoot a day. There are countries that still do this. And the world thinks, oh my gosh, those poor people, how horrible. No, this is why these people are so healthy. And so the beamer actually simulates to the body walking 7 to 10 miles a day barefoot on the ground.
All right, so that was just a real quick snippet from yesterday. So I highly recommend you guys watch yesterday's full segment. I think we went around 45 minutes or so, like packed with amazing nuggets of wisdom there. So am I back on? Can you guys see me full screen again? Yes? Thumbs up. Can you see me, Susanna? Okay. Yes. Okay. Awesome. I see y'all. All right. Thank you. So let me just get back into what I was talking about. So that's just a visual demonstration of what's going on. So now let's get into just why this can benefit an athlete, right? Just having that circuit fully charged and that energy ready to go, that microcirculation firing on all cylinders. So basically, with the life of an athlete, there's different phases of that throughout your week, throughout your day, throughout your months of training, right? So the first one is preparation, right? And so this can help when you have this energy and your blood flowing, that leads to more rapid recovery. Now, I'm going to get into a little more details a little later after this brief discussion, but this is just kind of the little snippet here. So you have less recovery time, which then leads to less time in between trainings, which leads to more muscle building and more enhanced endurance. And so that then leads into your performance. So if you have a higher endurance, for example, you can outlast your opponent, even if you have the stronger shots or are the stronger player at the beginning, right? So this was kind of my secret superpower when I was in college and competing throughout my youth, was because I play tennis and I had 2 hands on both sides, which is somewhat limiting in terms of reach. So I had to rely on more movement in my game. And so there were times where I would face more powerful opponents, but I had the superpower of being able to outlast them. And so what would happen is, as the hours went on, as the minutes went on, my level of strength maintained while theirs diminished. And as soon as that tipping point happened, boom, it was over. So I kind of knew that going in, where I would just keep it cool. And then boom, now's my opportunity. And I would be able to take, after losing the first set, winning in 3 sets. And so that's just from tennis. And that's just kind of the physical side of it, but also the mental component. When you have your blood flowing properly within your brain, guess what? You make better decisions. You can tap into your natural anticipation abilities. Like we have this innate like gut instinct, a lot of times people call it, is like, so we have the ability to anticipate things, to watch subtle differences in motion, in someone, the way they move their eyes, whatever it is, like our body can pick up on that. And so when you are firing on all cylinders, you're able to anticipate better, and then you play better. And so after competition, right, there's usually, especially those long matches, if you're doing that endurance, there's serious recovery that needs to happen. And after preparation when you're training, right? So why is that? So what does that recovery process look like for an athlete? And I'm sure all of you are familiar with this, right? Like when you work out, your body, what you're doing technically is you're stressing those muscles. And what that does is it creates these micro tears in your body, in those muscles. So what you can best associate that with is when you're working out, especially high intensity, you feel that burn, right? Like, what is that burn? Have you ever thought about that? Like, what that burn is those little micro tears that then trigger the enhanced blood flow to happen that's required. Like it's required, it's not an option. Like this has to happen, more blood flow to provide the building materials to repair and improve your muscles and your strength, right? So I know every time I feel the burn, I'm very happy because I know muscle building is happening and I'm going to be stronger in the long run. But when you feel that burn, what do you also know? The next 2 days are going to be pretty interesting because soreness is coming, right? So that's usually the signal. Now, soreness varies for different people, right? And why is that? Well, because they have different capacity to restore those muscles. And what technically what this the soreness is called is the delayed onset muscle soreness. So again, like I mentioned, this is what kicks in 12 to 24 hours after that burning sensation you get at the gym or at, on court, wherever you're at. And it's often called the next day effect. And so after this micro trauma, what's happening is the muscle is triggered to build up and replenish that tissue. And during that process, it's creating a better formation of that. And there's less fat in between those muscles, so it can communicate better. So like this is the key. Circulation is the key to this because circulation is what's transporting those building materials and the oxygen and removing the waste and carbon dioxide within your cells. So with that, think about breathing, right? Like kind of crucial to survival, right? And what is that exactly? Like breathing is basically you're taking oxygen into your body and then you're exhaling CO2, which is carbon dioxide. And so when you exercise, your body, like when I was just thinking about it, I was like, your body naturally takes in more oxygen and has to expel more waste in carbon dioxide. And that's just your body's natural mechanism, how to manage the demand of exercise. And the blood is that main transporter of of that exchange. So what I would like to do really quickly is give you a visual of what that is. So I'm a very visual person. So I have a couple images that I'm just going to show that kind of explain this exchange that goes on in the body and why it's so important. So let me again get back onto my share screen mode. Let's see, share. I'm going to share the whole screen this time because I have a couple of images that I'm going to share. And if you guys have questions, I like when I get the opportunity to go on these nerdy rants, like I go on a nerdy rant. So I hope it's not too fire hose, too much information all at once. So if you guys ever have questions, just let me know in the comments or in the chat, or I'll have questions at the end of this little piece that I'm doing. So this is the visual of what's going on in your body. So see this little net of blood flow. That is your capillaries. Those are the little thin hair-like things in your body that kind of wrap around different organs, different muscles of your body. And it's in between the artery, which is the oxygenated blood, and the vein, which kind of transfers the dioxide and waste, carbon dioxide and waste out of the body. So when the two merge is through these capillaries, and these are the teeniest, tiniest parts of your circulatory system. And so essentially, this is where it's bringing the glucose, amino acids, ions, water, oxygen, and then it transitions. Once it enters that area, the organ, the muscle, whatever it is, then it turns blue because all the oxygen's been removed, and then it expels the water, excess water, carbon dioxide, and other wastes. So right here is super important, because let's get a little closer up. Like, this is where it's being absorbed and expelled, right? So this is the close-up of that little net area, the capillary. And so what you want in that area is, remember this video? This right here. You want that flowing river that we discussed on day one. And you don't want a sluggish, slow, mishmash pond-like blood flow there, because what happens is then you're going to have that oxygen not properly distributing to the body, and then the waste is not getting fully removed, and therefore it's harder for your muscle to repair. It's breeding grounds for certain issues. And so yeah, that I just love visuals. That really helps me kind of retain the information. And when you understand what is going on, it's a better experience for your body to receive the treatment. Because think of the placebo effect. That's a super real thing. It's the power of our bodies, our minds, to receive information and apply it in our bodies with just the knowing of the information, right? So if you know how it works, it strengthens your faith and belief in it. And then the effects of it are even stronger in your body. So that is the capillaries. And what I also want to do is kind of show you how the beamer works. And so we have one, but before I go into that, I forgot the rest aspect of it. So the rest is when you're sleeping, right? So everybody in this world needs to sleep, needs to rest, right? We can't go more than I think it's 2 or 3 days without sleep, without starting to have hallucinations, go crazy. It's a pretty serious thing. And so not all rest is the same. People can sleep, but they can be in non-restorative sleep because they never enter that deep REM restorative mode, which really allows the body to kind of sort all the things out and restore and heal and do all of those things. So another benefit of having a device like the beamer, right, that really gets that energy and frequency within your body balanced and restored and has everything flowing properly, is it actually activates the parasympathetic system, which is that more relaxed state that's the opposite of the fight or flight. So the average person, especially in the US, they're living a life of stress. And what that stress does is it triggers the fight or flight response in your system. There's a flush of hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that really hinder things and deplete from your body. And so you would want to just kind of be able to stop that and go to the ideal state, which is the parasympathetic system. And when you're in that state, that allows you to sleep deeper. And that's one of the first things I noticed when I first used the beamer was sleep, because I don't have a lot of ailments and injuries. I consider myself a pretty healthy person, and I'm glad about that, but it's hard for me to gauge how effective something is for my own body, because if I don't have a pain, I can't tell if it's helping with pain, right? So sleep was the first thing that I noticed. Is when I did it, I slept deeper, but I also had more vivid dreams. And so that told me whoa, I'm really going into a deep state where I'm having more vivid and memorable dreams. And so rest is key, so that, again, it's a layer on top of all the other layers that we discussed, which will help your body be in its prime state. So with that, do we have any questions before I just kind of show our little beamer? And then I'm just going to share 2 little testimonies from our tennis players, from a pro tennis player to a 71-year-old retired playing for fun tennis player. So any questions? Anybody? All right. So are we going to go out there? Should I do that? Okay. All right. Oh, I see some chat. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. Yes, I want that toy. All right. So we're going to go into the room. My little 2-year-old is sleeping, so my voice is going to be a little more lower. But let's see. So here you go. That is.
You can like walk through. This would be for.
So that is the beamer strap. What do you call that?
The B sit.
So this is the B sit, and it's connected to that device right there, which is called the brain.
Yeah, the brain.
This is the brain. So that's where all the energy frequencies, and this is patented technology and frequency. It's actually used by NASA, right? So they kind of know a thing or two about science. And so my mom is on it.
Yeah, I'm doing my back.
So essentially all you do is sit on there for 8 minutes twice a day. That's kind of like the baseline protocol. And that just gets that river flowing, right? So since it's on your spine, that kind of hits through your whole system, right? So that's the first part. And then if you have like a certain area, so
I have the back of my leg is hurting, so I'm just going to strap it on to the back. It's I should have worn some pants here. Sorry guys, showing my leg. And then you just strap it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a little spotlight which targets a certain trouble area. So if a player or athlete or just any person has like a sore shoulder, knees, whatever, they can target that while they are still doing their main spinal area. And so that we recommend for any average person, two sessions at 8 minutes. So one in the morning, one in the evening, and that really keeps the flow going, right? And so 8 minutes, that's not a lot of time. And what I love about this is like all the other things that I've done require a lot of discipline, a lot of time, a lot of effort, right? So doing the dietary stuff, you have to buy a lot of new groceries. You have to find recipes that you're going to like. And when it comes to supplements, you have to take them a lot, which, you know, it's just disruptive. This is like, I just get to sit and relax for 8 minutes twice a day. And knowing when I'm resting that I'm doing probably one of the healthiest things I can do for my body, that jives with me. So, oh, so here's the monitor.
I'm going to put it on intensity level. When you start out, you do intensity 1. Okay, and this is the B spot. That's for my knee. So then I just start. And then because it has the 2 conduits, then I have the other one connected there too. I go ahead and go back to, what happened? Oh, I'm sorry. I have to switch it to the number 2.
So yeah, basically you start on a very low setting and then you gradually work your way up. So
there's the pad. That's the one we're going to start.
So yeah, like with.
And so they're on for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
so
beep to let you know it's done.
So that's 8 minutes twice a day. That's like as simple as it gets. And of course, we are a team here that has been using the beamer. We have a lot of resources and scientists and doctors that we have access to, that those that do end up wanting to receive treatment or purchase a beamer of their own, we have a support system for you where we will train you on what you need to do and different protocols you can add beyond just the 8 minutes twice a day. So that is the main thing. And I'm going to share just 2, now that we've witnessed the goodness of this way of enhancing your system. We've started inviting different athletic case studies to see how it affects people in sports. So I'm going to share just 2 videos that are actually on the Facebook page. So if you guys are in the Facebook group, go ahead and you can search this, but I know not everybody knows how to search and navigate. So I'm going to share let's see. pro. So this is actually share screen. My little brother Andre. So was visiting from Puerto Rico, and he, out of the three of us, was the more competitive one. And he played Division I. He still plays, but not as competitively. He's a pro, teaching pro, and then he is a hitting partner for players that are currently on tour. So like at this video that you're watching, he had just got done hitting with a woman who is training for the Australian Open. So that's one of the major tennis tournaments in pro tennis. And so he, I'll let him tell the story. How about that? And don't mind my kiddo screaming in the background. Now that we recorded that part, what do you have to say, Andre?
No, I like the Beamer. The Beamer's good. Just playing tennis. I didn't do it last time. And I was like, timing was a little off, but this time I did it, and it's just more focused, better sense of control over my body. I'm a fan of it. It just feels great, and I feel strong.
Yeah.
Even after playing for a couple sets for like 2.5 hours, like I don't feel tired. I feel good, and I feel strong.
So better endurance?
Yeah. And better focus out over there. I'm more aware, in tune with like the body and the movement out over there. Yeah.
So endurance, focus, strength, and what was the score?
I won the first set last week.
There's the kiddos. Okay, so you won the first set?
Yeah, last week she took me down straight sets, like 2 and 3. This time I took the first set, and then she took the second set off me.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty good for someone who hasn't played competitively for like a year now.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
1 week turnaround. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Andre. So that's the high level athlete. And now here's just the retired athlete, right? 71 years old, Guillermo. So here's his story. Oh, it's audio on.
Awesome. I'm just so excited that you are taking interest in the Beamer and wanting to see what it can do for you and your tennis game. I know that you just had a birthday. How old were you?
71.
71, and you're still going strong. Yeah, so you've had a few sessions on the Beamer. Can you tell me, have you experienced something different or on the court or just in how you sleep or any good things?
Last week when I did the session here, went out to play, I had been feeling some pain on my right hand, and I was playing good. I didn't feel much pain. I was getting the balls that I didn't think I'd be able to get because I had been having some issues. But even my partners were telling me that I was moving a little bit better than I'd been before. So yes, I went home and felt okay without much pain. So I'm really happy to have done it. I felt it. Like I said, I was on that day, and I think the Beamer helped me.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and just, put you on because you're going to go on the court again.
Okay, so those are the two testimonies. So the more recent one that we just watched, Guillermo, 71 years old, and he came in with wrist pain that he couldn't get rid of it. Like he plays every week with my dad, who's 82 years old, right? So he would always complain about it. And so we invited him to be one of our case studies. And after that first session, he noticed the pain was gone. And we saw him last week. So this is 1 or 2 weeks since that video was recorded. And he said it hasn't come back. The pain hasn't come back. So he's excited to now start targeting his shoulder, which was another area. So this is just a great example of just the vast how it doesn't matter your age, your, athletic ability, whatever it is, stimulating that microcirculation can benefit anybody and everybody. So I think that's all I really have for you guys today. Any final thoughts before we close out? I hear my mama saying something. Oh, yeah. And just a reminder, tomorrow is our final day of the challenge. So thank you everybody that's been around. We're going to do some prizes tomorrow. So for those that want to hop in, it's okay if you've missed any of the other videos. You can join our Zoom. So we're going to have like a little Zoom Q&A. So anyone that, if it's your first time watching, like that's totally cool. And anyone that's on live will be able to win one of the 3 prizes that we have. So we had them on our website, powerofmicrocirculation.com. There's 3 prizes that we're going to give away, but you have to be on live with us on the Zoom. So that's the catch. So hopefully you'll be able to join us. Check your email for the Zoom link and in the Facebook group for the Zoom link, and we'll see you then. So any final thoughts or questions, ladies, before we close out?
No, it was excellent, excellent. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and looking at sending the replay to a few people that get to see this. Thank you, thank you. It was awesome.
Awesome. Well, glad you guys enjoyed it. And I see shout out to Barbie. It helps with my TMJ. The pain is gone.
Yes. My pain is gone, and I'm very happy. I shared this with Susie. Hi guys. Hi everybody. I'm driving. I shared this with Susie. I'm very excited. I can finally bite on a tortilla chip or sing again and without pain. So thank you, Beamer. And I said this before, but it's amazing. Honestly, you know what? It's so funny how the body works, because my pain was gone. I didn't even realize that it was really gone. And one day I said, you know what? I can actually chew on that and not break down in tears, because I couldn't bite on a piece of broccoli, for instance. And I said, oh my God, that's it. So it's amazing how it just relaxed my entire body. I wasn't, as you know, applying Beamer over my face necessarily, but yes, over my neck and my vertebrae. So, you know, it just worked with the nervous system. So thank you guys.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that amazing story. And yeah, it's great that you can sing again, because you have an amazing voice. So
You do too. Thank you.
We are all benefiting from that. Maybe we'll say, hey, Barbie, go live and karaoke in our group.
Yes. And one last thing I want to say is, I know it is an investment, and we all at some point have thought, hey, do I really want to spend that kind of money? But you know what? It is an investment. And guys, this TMJ was quoted as high as $60,000 to get rid of by my last doctor. And I said, oh my God, I better get this thing healed right away. But it started anywhere from $28,000 up to $60,000. All sorts of gimmicks out there. Oh, I'm going to get you better. I went through a physical therapist who charged me $150 each time she touched me, and only put me through more pain. And no, she was not helping me at all. So this is definitely a great investment. At least you're spending your money in something that is going to be there for years to come and heal you and family and friends.
Yes. Awesome. Amazing. So yeah, this is what we're trying to share with you guys. And thank you, ladies, for sharing your stories. And make sure to hop on tomorrow via the Zoom link and bring your questions, bring your stories, testimonies, whatever you want to do. We're going to have fun. We're going to give away prizes, and check the comments section with any links that we referenced, and we will see you then. So same time tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific. And that's it. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.